What's up, my dudes? It's the Vigorous Q&A again. I lost my voice a little bit because I just went to Cheesecake Factory here in Thailand, and the music was pretty loud, and I was with a big group of people. So if my voice sounds a little bit raspy, my sincere apologies. We had a blast. So let's just dive in right into the first question from Alvaro. How was it? How was the Cheesecake Factory? Will we see Permabulk Steve soon? So no, I will not be joining the Permabulk team. I'm happy being around 200 pounds, let's say 92, 93 kilos at the moment. And if I do go out for a cheat meal, it's once per week. So I will not be joining the Permabulk crew, but I will be sure to go to Cheesecake Factory here and there. And you know what? The general manager is part of the Vigorous crew too. So, he came over after a while, said, "Hey, Vigorous Steve." I said, "Yes." And he recognized my wife. So it was pretty cool. We didn't get any discounts though, but maybe I can get a Vigorous discount code going and get 10% off the Cheesecake Factory, right? Fingers crossed. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be freaking cool. Cheesecake Factory in Thailand is cheaper than the United States. It tastes exactly the same. I think it's about say 10-15% cheaper depending on the dish. It saves a couple dollars, and that also means that besides the obligatory 15% 22% tip that you have in the United States, here the service charge is only 10% plus 7% VAT. So towards the bottom end, you're probably paying the lowest amount of tip you would otherwise pay in the United States. The bill for 13 people was very, very, very affordable. I recorded the whole thing, but going through the footage just now, it looks a little bit emotional. Man, it's hot in here though. It's all these carbs. I gotta make sure that my fan is going well. You guys can hear me okay? Bronson, let me know if the audio is okay. I was stressed out a little bit. It got so much shit going on. So much. Oh, I'm not recording either. Oh no. All right, let me record. Okay, on Audacity. Good. Forgot to do that. All right, let's see. So yeah, Cheesecake Factory in Thailand is Vigorous Steve approved. It was a lot of fun. Everything tastes good. I feel a little bit nauseous after that big fat cheesecake that I had to finish by myself. But all in all, it was a good day out with the boys and all of the wives and girlfriends. All right, let's move over to the next question. Alvaro also asks, what are some supplements and their extract ratios? Example, 600 milligram berberine at 15:1, claiming it's equivalent to 9-gram berberine. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but usually they claim, a certain percentage of a compound XYZ, which I usually mention on the label. So we can take torkestrone as an example. Right? Derek made that torkestrone, what is it, cyclo hydro, I don't know, some sort of complex version, and they're 500 milligrams per capsule, but it's a 10% extract. So even though it's torkestrone extract, it's only 10% of the actual capsule. The rest is basically that method of improved delivery. So that's 10%. So you get 50 milligrams torkestrone for every 500 milligram capsule that you take, and it's usually specified on the bottle. So usually we say if you take berberine, it's 500 milligrams. That's generally speaking what most of the supplements contain, but it might be in a 15:1 ratio of the, I don't know, whatever is contained within. I can't even remember what it's called. It's probably berberinoside or something. What is it called again? But it's going to vary from from compound to compound. Let's see if berberine actually has something inside of there that has a different. I think berberine was the active ingredient. Actually, there's several ingredients in there. Okay. Well, worthy of some additional research. So usually I specify it at the end of the bottle or at the back of the bottle, and then you have to roll with that, right? But most of the time you just go with capsule size. So if you take 500 milligrams of berberine, it's 500 milligrams of berberine, just like you take 250 milligrams testosterone enanthate, even though that's only, 72, 75% actual testosterone. So the testosterone extract of testosterone enanthate is a lower percentage. Next one. Sander van den Bent asks, thoughts on rowing for cardio? Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you can do any kinds of cardio. It just matters that you have to do some sort of activity, right? So if you're moving, your heart rate is going up, you are getting a little bit of sweaty, and then, holding a conversation is a little bit more difficult. Then your metabolic rate is up. You might have some increased fat oxidation or glucose oxidation. And, it kind of depends on if you enjoy the cardio and if you can recover from it the next day. So if you're doing rowing every single day and your back is mad sore, then it might be time to switch to walking for a while, or maybe you alternate between walking and rowing, or you do the elliptical and the Stairmaster, right? I mean, cardio is cardio. It doesn't really matter what you do. It's about the duration, intensity, and your heart rate while you're doing it. And whatever kind of cardio you prefer to do is just that. So my wife likes, a little bit of jogging, and I prefer the elliptical, right? Or sometimes the Stairmaster, but not every single day, because then my knees turn to, spaghetti, basically. All right, next one. Darius, thoughts on gabapentin off-label use for sleep? I'm not against it. I mean, once in a while, it's okay. I mean, the weird thing is gabapentin is it doesn't interact with the GABA receptors, not the GABA A receptor that regular over-the-counter, a GABA, the supplementation interacts with, or some of the, GABA and GABA A receptor agonist medications. Gabapentin, I think it interacts with the NMDA, blocking it. And I have to do some research. It's been a while since I did that deep sleep deep dive. But gabapentin doesn't interact with the GABA receptors, from what I can remember. It interacts with some other receptors and has similar sedating effects. So I think it's called a GABA analog, something like that. Yeah. So off-label use, I'm not against it, but I wouldn't do it every day. Just like with all hardcore sleep aids, I mean, gabapentin is a medication. So like with GABA, for example, or Phenibut, you can buy that over the counter. Phenibut, not really anymore. Some countries you can buy it over the counter. Some countries you can't, right? Some countries it's classified as a medication. So, you have GABA, gabapentin, and Phenibut, and GHB to a certain extent. So all should be able to help you fall asleep, albeit that I don't think that GHB is a suitable sleep aid. And do the high dose progesterone supplementation, like 50 to 100 milligrams, that kind of feels like a high dose of gabapentin, or a high dose, sleeping inducing dose of GHB. You feel quite sedated and pretty funky. I would kind of rotate through the sleep aids, but training balls to the wall during the day, and omitting the caffeine at, let's say, not later than 4 p.m. That already helps a lot for a lot of people. Right? Don't do what I do when you take a Gorilla Mode or Gorilla Mind Respawn an hour before you go live, and then you have only 5 hours to metabolize it before you go to bed. That's not really a good idea. So I'm on the uppers, the Respawn, and then the downers, the Gorilla Mind Dream, after I'm done with this live stream. Oh man, my voice is already messed up. Sorry, guys. Darius asks, thoughts on handling folliculitis. I always seem to get pimples from due to ingrown hair, no matter what I do when I shave. It's worse on my traps, ass, hamstrings, and chest. Get a Phillips 1 blade, so you don't cut the hairs all the way down to the skin. You leave a little bit, so you have like 0.5 millimeter that the skin is still growing out of your skin, or the hair is still going out of your skin, and then it doesn't grow in. So, I used to shave here once in a while, and then I would get the same thing, especially on my hamstrings, probably because you sit on it the entire day. And, so I would go get these ingrown hairs, and then, you have to do all kinds of acrobatic moves with some sort of needle, and to kind of whip out those ingrown hairs from the little ingrown bullshit. Like, it looks like a pimple, but it's actually just an infection. So you have to just stab it in there, and then whip out the hair, pull it out, and then it will kind of heal over time. But it's a very common occurrence, those ingrown hairs on bodybuilders after they shave. So I would always tell people just to get a 1 blade, Phillips 1 blade, or use the discount code from Forabia to get that other thing. What is it called? Manscaped, right? Get that one. I use a Phillips 1 blade. It works just fine, and I never get ingrown hairs. So I would omit the shaving unless you step on stage. And if you do step on stage, then you'll have to shave like 3 times a week to kind of let your skin get used to it. And then if you do shave your hamstrings, yeah, I don't think there's a way around it besides not really sitting on your hamstrings all the time, where it just keeps growing properly. So don't sit down too much, which is difficult when you're in contest prep because you're kind of tired. Rocco asks, any benefits using Grillamine Sigma with 25 milligrams Enclomiphene? Well, the Fedosia agrestis can increase LH secretion, right? But Enclomiphene does that also. And I would say that Enclomiphene is probably more beneficial than Grillamine Sigma regarding testosterone increases. That's why hormone replacement therapy clinics like Merck Health, for example, under proper guidance, if needed, if warranted, after doing blood work and discussing this with a doctor, will prescribe Enclomiphene and not Grillamine Sigma. But Grillamine Sigma will still work if you have a functioning HPTA that's totally fine and your testosterone levels are pretty good, your LH and FSH levels are nice, then I think Grillamine Sigma can take that to the next level, but Enclomiphene can probably bring it up higher. Now, with Grillamine Sigma, the evidence is a lot more in your favor compared to Enclomiphene, because Enclomiphene, there's not so much scientific literature, whereas most of the ingredients of Grillamine Sigma, there's plenty of research you can do on them. And with Enclomiphene, since its parent hormone Clomid has all kinds of side effects, which have not been investigated or proven or debunked with Enclomiphene studies, as far as I was able to tell, with the 80 or 90 studies that Enclomiphene has. Yeah, clotting risks, reduction of IGF-1, alteration of bone mineralization. I don't think that Enclomiphene is sustainable, but I do talk to people who run Enclomiphene solo and are perfectly happy, and their blood work parameters are pretty okay. Minus that IGF-1 is, sliced in half, which you also need for gain. So maybe testosterone levels are elevated, estrogen levels are elevated, but IGF-1 levels are reduced. So now the total picture is still not favorable. Right? Choose either or. See where your testosterone levels end up, and then go with the option you feel the most comfortable with, I would say. I got discount codes for both. Grillamine Sigma and Enclomiphene. Control F source list. Let's see, Darius asks, why is it that sometimes you get a massive lump post-oily intramuscular injections and sometimes it doesn't puff up? Same vial, same injection technique, same spot. I'm not sure. Maybe you're injecting in the scar tissue, and the scar tissue is already a little bit irritated and inflamed, and then maybe you get some sort of allergic response, right? Or an inflammatory response, or your immune system is kind of attacking it and, sends some inflammatory cytokines or something along those lines, or white blood cells to kind of attack that area, and then it pumps up. So I would stick with a brand that doesn't give you lumps or bumps or post-injection pain or inflammation or redness ever. Right? So if this brand from same injection it giving you massive lumps, I would just switch to something else, dude. Switch to pharmaceutical grade, switch to Bayer, Rotex Medica, all those companies, Pfizer and many of the companies that produce testosterone enanthate or cypionate. All of their products are beautifully produced, and nobody seems to get side effects like this unless they use underground labs. All right, and if you don't have access to pharmaceutical, personally, I would rather homebrew, ask Chase Irons, instead of using underground labs, because, the things that I hear through the grapevine, it's just horrendous. So I would not bother. Rocco asks, I know Enclomiphene reduces IGF-1. Yeah, I just said that. But would it be a good idea to add 2 to 4 units of growth hormone to boost IGF-1 to kind of balance it out? Also, should I discontinue the 1200 milligrams berberine I take daily? Okay, so berberine is also known to reduce IGF-1 levels, but not to the point that metformin does, or selective estrogen receptor modulators like Enclomiphene or Clomid or tamoxifen, Nolvadex do. So I would reduce the berberine to 500 milligrams maybe around cheat meals. All right, I take berberine once a week. I took it today before I went to Cheesecake Factory, and the rest of the week I don't take it because I do my cardio. I'm on top of my magnesium. I'm on top of my fish oil. I cycle my calories, so I'm also always in a pretty good insulin sensitive state. So I don't need fucking berberine every single day. right? You only need it when you go out to eat a little bit more than your diet structure allows you to, and then you slime a berberine for like ease of mind, right? Ease of mind. So you're staying a little bit more insulin sensitive. So can you offset the IGF-1 reduction of enclomiphene and berberine with 2 to 4 units of growth hormone in serum? Yeah, I don't think that is unlikely. So but you have to get a baseline, right? Take the enclomiphene out, or actually no, you check it now. You take the enclomiphene out afterwards, and then 2 weeks, 4 weeks later, you check where your IGF-1 is without the enclomiphene, without the berberine, and without the growth hormone, right? So you're at natural levels, and then you add in the enclomiphene, the berberine, and then the GH. So you have a comparison point, comparing serums plus berberine versus baseline versus growth hormone, right? That is what I would do. And then see what is the best approach for you. But again, that's IGF-1 in serum and not IGF-1 localized, which, I'm not really sure if enclomiphene or berberine are able to reduce IGF-1 levels locally. Let's say if you inject growth hormone in your chest, you get a little bit of autocrine IGF-1 secretion locally, which is marginal compared to the IGF-1 that your liver produces. Right, that localized IGF-1, you're not going to really detect in serum, because ideally it acts locally and it doesn't go into the bloodstream. Now, if you start injecting your IGF-1 into your chest, then eventually it will leak out, because that's a super physiological amount, not the amount that the autocrine signaling can produce. And then, and of course, if you go with exogenous IGF-1, then it doesn't matter how much enclomiphene or berberine or metformin you take, because it's you're getting that directly. So yeah, blood work, that is the way. Lucas asks, Aromasin is not soluble in water. It is soluble in methanol and N-dimethylformamide. These are both toxic for ingestion. Is there a safe way to dissolve my 25 milligrams Aromasin in 1 milligram or 1 milliliter of liquid for small dosages? I use 6.25 milligrams every fourth day. I would like to use 2.5 milligrams every other day, but I can't actually cut the pills that small. Okay, so why don't you get a microgram scale? They sell those on Amazon. You crush the tablets, and then you also buy those, those capsules that you can just fill yourself. I think they're cheap. They're like $1,000. They cost like $20, and they're made of cellulose or something that is easy to digest. You crush the tablet of Aromasin. You mix that in, let's say, 10. You want 2.5 milligram dosages, right? Yeah, okay, so you want 1/10 of the tablet. Okay, so you crush that tablet of Aromasin to a fine powder, right? Like the sugar that you use to glaze your donuts with, right? Not the glaze, that's of course mixed with other stuff, but the powdered donuts, right? That's powdered sugar, basically. So you crush it up until it's powdered sugar, and then you mix that with something like a good old, baking flour, right? 10 grams of baking flour plus 1 tablet of 25 milligrams Aromasin crushed to infinity. Then you take your good time to kind of make that homogeneous, right? So you keep scooping that. You feel free to use a whisker, and you start mixing that. And then you fill 10 capsules with 1 milligram each, or 1 gram each. Then technically, if you mixed it in very, very, very well, every gram capsule that you're now producing should contain 2.5 milligrams of Aromasin. No need to put all of that in toxic oil. So long story short, crush it to infinity, mix it with 10 gram baking flour, mix it properly, right? So the mixture is homogenized, where everything is just equally dispersed, and then put that into little capsules of about 1 gram each. And then everything should work out fine. Jump Rather, let's see, asks, what are your current thoughts on whether or not Semax should be cycled? I think that most of the benefits are reached within 2 weeks, and then after 4 weeks, I feel that the there's no additional progress. So I would cycle Semax 1 month on, 1 month off. Now I've talked to people who've done 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. I talked to a guy who used Semax every single day for a year. And I do notice that most people who run it for a longer period of time that say that they feel a little bit weird. Yeah, I can't remember what. I think there were some recommended protocols of like 3 weeks to 6 weeks if you do the medical literature, right, from Russia, where they recommend Semax for various dubious medical applications. So I think it's only a couple of weeks. So I felt that most of the benefits are reached within like 2 to 4 weeks, and then they seem to linger for at least another month. All right. So if you can take it for, if you have a month the loading phase and the benefits are still there a month later, right, regarding your libido, cognition, energy levels, then why not run it 1 month on, 1 month off? But if you get more out of it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, then feel free. But as soon as you start to feel a bit funky, take it out. Take it out. It's not bioidentical. And even though it's a partial sequence of a bioidentical hormone, it doesn't, act in the exact biosimilar way. Let's see. Darius asks, Steve, how does scar tissue feel when you inject into it? Can you, all right, now it's cold enough. Can you have scar tissue and inject right into it without knowing? I've been pinning exclusively my glutes, but it always feels the same. So scar tissue, you'll feel some sort of resistance. So as the needle is going in, it kind of feels like you're dragging your nails over, the blackboard, right? That the teacher used to write over. So it feels like, and then sometimes you get real resistance. You're like, I'm pressing, but it's not going in. So you have to press a little bit harder. And then it pops through, and then you go in really fast. Yeah, so that takes a couple of years to develop. And if I had a time machine, I would never do anything intramuscular anymore unless absolutely necessary. I would just pin everything sub-Q. And the sub-Q, scar tissue, you will also develop, but it seems to be easier to be mitigated with deep tissue massage therapy. So if I ask my deep tissue massage therapist to kind of, go ham on my glutes, my upper glutes, where I do most of my, sub-Q shots nowadays, it seems to kind of loosen up and unbound and a lot faster than the intramuscular shots in that area, which I still have scar tissue there, right? But of course, I did pretty heavy cycles back in the day. Yeah, so I came to a point right now when I take glutathione shots in my glutes, I take like a super thin needles. I think what was the gauge? Was it a 29 or 27? Yeah, it was a 29 because it's water based, right? So you don't really need a thick one. And even then, with the 29 gauge, sometimes it goes in and then it's stuck. So you have to really, make sure it's absolutely straight and then just keep pushing. And then after a while, it goes through. But yeah, man, if I had a time machine, no way. I would do it completely different. But it's me, right? I have to make all the mistakes so you guys don't have to. So yeah, if you have scar tissue, you'll know it, man. And otherwise, go to a deep tissue massage therapist and ask them to put their thumbs and elbows in your butt cheeks, and then you will know. Yeah, you will know. Bronson. Oh, we went through all the questions already from Patreon. All right, awesome. Bronson asks, what do you think about using essential amino acids in place of whey protein to supplement? I saw a post this morning claiming essential amino acids to be more anabolic per gram while being easy to digest. Yeah, but essential amino acids, since they also digest faster, the branched chain amino acids within the leucine and the isoleucine are also more insulinotropic. So that means they convert into glucose and then secrete a little bit of insulin from the pancreas, which is not inherently bad. And of course, whey protein does the same thing, especially if it contains lactose. Right? The whey protein isolate contains a little bit of carbs in the form of lactose and probably some sugar, right? Because the manufacturer wants you to keep slamming that and slamming that and slamming that so they can use more or sell more bottles. So it has to taste super, super good. That's why you have all those weird flavors for whey protein. I've always been a vanilla guy. vanilla whey protein or get the fuck out. Right? I don't like cookies and cream. I don't like chocolate. I don't like strawberry. I don't like banana. Just vanilla, dude. Vanilla shit is the best shit. Anyway, so if you take essential amino acids, I would do like 5 grams over an hour, right? But hey, bro, you know that steak and chicken and turkey and lean pork, right? And eggs, salmon, white fish have essential amino acids too. And those come with micronutrients. So when do you really need essential amino acids? If you're sub 6% body fat and you do fasted cardio, then sipping on a little bit of essential amino acids while you do your fasted cardio might be anti-catabolic. And if you take essential amino acids at any body weight where your training intensity is so high that you need essential amino acids in place, inter-workout, then it makes sense. But doing the all-day you may stuff, right, that what Rich Piano meant, that you have essential amino acids the entire way throughout the day, might work if you're also on insulin and big as fuck. But most people, honestly, dude, save your money, dude. Buy real food. Really, buy real food. I think whey protein can be replaced with collagen protein. I don't care what the scientific literature says. I've been using collagen protein for years. No stretch marks, no injuries, right? So get your collagen protein and shut the fuck up. And if you want to have some essential amino acids, which I do take pre-workout, do it around the workout. But at least the other 4 or 5 meals of the day should be legit, right? With real micronutrients. All right, here we go. Thomas, is citrulline or L-arginine? No, wait a minute. L-citrulline, L-arginine, L-ornithate at 100 milligrams per milliliter, ATP 50 milligrams per milliliter, good injectable pre-workout. Something you would add, it's for the off season. Is that a blend of amino asylum? You know what's bad? Like I did a video about this, right? Reviewing their products, and I completely forgot. I completely forgot why each essential amino acid is beneficial. L-citrulline, of course, is for nitric oxide synthesis. But L-arginine is for beta-alanine. L-ornithine, fuck, dude, I can't remember, man. I can't remember. The ATP is for vasodilation. That I know. You get fucking insane pumps, especially at 50 milligrams per milliliter. The ATP will act locally, provide energy, and if it goes systemic into the bloodstream, it will convert into AMP, and then you get vasodilation out of your ass. So L-citrulline vasodilation, ATP vasodilation. But I mean, it looks good to me, add some L-carnitine in for, nutrient shuttling into the mitochondria in the form of fatty acids. And then you're good, right? But I would say amino asylum stampede or amino asylum super shredder, which has albuterol in there. Those are my favorite injectable pre-workouts. That's for sure. Yeah, but L-arginine, what was it again? Arginine. Benefits. I have to Google it. Lowering blood pressure. All right. So that's also a vasodilator. Does that convert it to beta-alanine? That was carnosine, right? Carnosine converts into beta-alanine. Carnos. Yeah. Muscle synthesis from carnosine into beta-alanine. All right. Okay. I should dive more into the over-the-counter supplements. On the topic of cardio, can bedroom cardio actually be a volume form of it? Off-season cardio, at least. Yeah, but most of the time it's like 10 minutes, right? I mean, elevate your heart rate for like 30 minutes. If you could do sex for 30 minutes without coming, probably masturbate too much, let's be honest, or your girlfriend is not hot. Right? I can get the job done in 10 minutes, dude. And that's more than enough. 10 minutes of good, passionate, sexy, love-making time. And I still do my daily fasted cardio and walking in between sets. So I consider it extra cardio, but not the main form of cardio. Yeah. Yeah. All right, next one. Big house. We both know it doesn't matter What he says, still gonna take every chance we get. Yeah, very true. Right? It's extra cardio. But you don't have to do it every single day if you don't feel like it. But if you do feel like it every single day, then go right ahead, man, and give a couple pumps for Uncle Steve, okay? All right, spread the love. Big House, assuming that one is still in a caloric surplus, are there any anabolic benefits to running T4? Uh, well, technically, it could be anabolic because T4 converts into T3, and T3 helps with nutrient partitioning, but it does it at a normal rate, right? Unless you start taking exogenous T3. So if you take T4, let's say you take 50 micrograms or 100 micrograms per day, and it converts to a normal amount of T3 that is slightly higher than before because now you have higher levels of T4, right? Then you get increased nutrient partitioning, which then later on, assuming you have enough B vitamins in your diet, because that also contributes to nutrient partitioning and energy production and, synthesis of all kinds of proteins. Assuming everything is right, the nutrient intake is right, then I would say that it might have an anabolic overlap in the same rate as going from, testosterone to adding in a testosterone booster. So it will be marginal. Right? It will be maybe noticeable, but it will be marginal. So if you're not taking any anabolics and you take T4, will you notice something? Maybe in the long run, maybe you notice that you recover slightly better, and thus you can add in one more working set. Right? But of course, right, if we're going to split hairs, then you're on the full stack of Test Primo, Deca, Anavar, GH, Insulin, Increlex, or IGF-1 LR3. And a little bit of T4, and maybe even 20 micrograms of Clen, right, for the beta-2 adrenergic anabolism that you might get out of it. You're on the full Monty, and then, of course, it makes a bigger difference because now you have synergy, right? So if you're natural, you add in T4. I mean, look into the side effects of T4 supplementation for Hashimoto's disease. You will not see, a spontaneous muscle gain as part of those side effects. So keep that in mind. Thomas, wouldn't Ora Plus Plus also work for the Aromasin? I haven't heard it's toxic. Ora Plus? What is Ora? What is that? Thomas, what do you mean? What Ora? You mean every other day? No. Okay. Clarify, Thomas, please. I'm starting to cramp. Shit. I did hamstrings today at BPC Fitness. Hard. So hard because I knew I was going to eat at Cheesecake Factory. And now I'm starting to cramp. So I might... This is pretty bad. Let's see if I can stretch that out. Jesus Christ. Oh, guys. All right. Pitting a scar tissue is like pitting a popcorn bag. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm going to use that one, Big House. Pinning scar tissue is like pinning a popcorn bag. It's exactly that, right? Because you got like airy parts where it goes in easy, and then you hit a popcorn and it goes through. And especially if you hit the kernel, that was like fucking hard. You need to stab it, not multiple times, right? Not like Pulp Fiction. I have to stab her multiple times. No, once. Right, Vincent Vega, you have to stab her once. I don't get the fucking adrenaline in her heart. So you go in slow, and you hit the popcorn and the kernel, and you're like, And you go through, and then you hit the next one, right? So, geez, well, I might have to get some salt later on. All right, so yeah, that's basically what it's like. Thomas, did you specify? All right, here we are. Ora Plus is something on Amazon that the people use to suspend Anavar, for example. It's meant to make tablet medication easier to swallow. Ora Plus. Oh, what the hell is this? Looks like something you clean your toilet with. Why am I going to eBay? What's in here? Purified water, microcrystalline cellulose, carboxymethylcellulose sodium, xanthan gum, carrageenan, calcium sulfate, tetrasodium phosphate, citric acid, sodium phosphate as a buffer, emulsion, methylparaben, oh Jesus, and potassium sorbate. Okay, do the baking baking powder option that I recommended, Thomas. That has two ingredients, right? It has baking powder and aromasin, and the cellulose that you get. Okay, so 3 ingredients versus whatever the fuck is in this Ora Plus. Suspending volume. And as little additives as possible, guys. All right, let's speak. My resting pulse heart rate increased about 10 points from 74 to 84 since adding in 1 IUs of growth hormone. Okay, could be. Maybe your metabolic rate went up because the 1 IU of growth hormone increased your thyroid conversion. Would an increase in blood volume cause resting heart rate to increase? Could be. Could be. Could it be that that's the T4 to T3 conversion? That's more likely. Like if you add in like 12.5 micrograms of T3 in the beginning, your heart rate would go up with 10 points also. Man, I'm going to have to stretch this fucker out. Oh my God, dude. All right. Well, paint me like one of those French girls. That's what happens when you go live. All right, where are we? Well, I guess we can make shorts of this episode. So let's see. Yeah, it could be the conversion of thyroid hormones. It could be increased water retention. I mean, it could be that some of the preservatives of the growth hormone is making your resting heart rate go up. It could be that you're actually close to a deload. Maybe you need to take a week off or 2 weeks off and just kind of let your resting heart rate come down, because usually when your resting heart rate comes up, right, maybe you think it's a growth hormone, but it's actually just coming in an overtrained state. You see that your resting heart rate is elevated because your cortisol levels are elevated also, which is a common early onset of being in an overtrained state. So, look into something like that, because it is a big jump. And I would not say that is a very common occurrence with growth hormone, to be honest, unless the growth hormone is maybe your thyroid hormones kind of shit in the beginning, and now it's finally starting to convert. But I don't know. I think there's more going on than just the growth hormone, right? Then otherwise, take it out, see what happens. See what happens. Maybe your growth hormone is HCG and it's interacting with your thyroid receptors. And then your T4 levels are going up, even though in humans it doesn't happen, right? It's animal studies that show that growth hormone or HCG interacts with the thyroid receptors, and thus thyroid parameters change. But I've never, ever seen that in humans ever. Right? And if HCG keeps you leaner, it's probably because your testosterone levels are a little bit higher. Right? An indirect effect because testosterone improves your metabolism also. Thomas, if you were to homebrew, what oil would you use? MCT? Yeah, MCT. I would go with MCT. It's easy to suspend stuff in, from what I've been told, assuming that the ester is moderate, so that's a propionate ester and acid. Well, even acetate, I think, dissolves in MCT quite easily. And then all you need is a little bit of benzyl alcohol to, preserve it, and allegedly benzyl benzoate for some ester formulation. So again, I'm not an expert in homebrewing, but I do know that all the expert homebrewers are using MCT oil, and that seems to work quite well, man. Okay, is this gone now? Jesus, my calves are too big. Oh, it's still there. Fuck my life. Fuck my life. What did I do? All right. That's better. Well, it's not centered anymore. So yeah, MCT is the way to go. Again, guys, Chase Irons has got a whole membership segment and what's it called? Discord dedicated to this. So if you want to know about homebrewing, Chase Irons is your go-to guy. Let's see. It's the pump blend with added ATP. I'm going to homebrew it. Yeah, so you can do that, right? Those amino silent products that you can just mix it in syringes. I did that with Super Shredder and Stampede at the same time. So I would put half a cc of each into the insulin syringe. And then inject that into the muscle I was going to train. Right, so it's 1 cc each, but half a cc per syringe mixed together, and looks like a lava lamp. because let's see, the super shredder had vitamin B12 in there, and it's red, of course, and the other one is white. So you have that like intermixing as it goes in. It looks very, very cool. Yeah. And the pump blend, I think I used the Monster Pump blend. Yeah, that has the ornithine in it. Good stuff. Would you recommend brewing injectable aminos? They're 10 times cheaper. I have no idea how to do that. And of course, it's water based, so you always have to worry about sterility. But if you can make it work, why not, man? Why not? I mean, it's of course it's going to be cheaper, right? If you make it yourself. I mean, home brewing for a vial of testosterone, you maybe, if you're really going to do that, you spend maybe $10-12 for a vial of testosterone, and for the aminos, it's probably the same. It's probably $5 instead of what is it, $30, $50, depending on if you use a discount code or not. Buying that from a supplier, right? I mean, making it yourself is always cheaper, but you also run the risk that if you don't know what you're doing, that you get a post-injection pain or infections or that kind of stuff. So, right, I would always say leave it to the pros. And amino asylum products are probably the only underground lab that I actually enjoy running. But even then, I would stick with pharmaceutical grade. But pharmaceutical grade injectable aminos, the dosages are pretty pathetic, as we saw from Jesse James West when he went with the injectable IV aminos. It's like 50 milligrams per milliliter. I mean, it's not going to do shit. All right. We talked about this. Bronson, what's been on your go-to top set or PR song lately? Let's see, what is it called? I saw that Christian Avstrom contributed to death metal against animal violence. Animal violence. What was this? Or animal abuse? Feelings. Feelingless. Metal against, hopefully it's not going to play. Metal against animal cruelty charity. Yeah, Noble Demon. I'll link it down below. I'm not sure if that is the official channel or some sort of re-upload channel. Oh yeah, okay. It's probably a re-upload channel. And the Spirit Box had a new CD out, which was also pretty killer. I wish I had more time to look for music. Let's see, where are we? Oh, here we are. And I can't remember song names, so I just download the CDs, right? And then I put the songs that I like on my MP3 player, and then I just go through it. So, but I can't remember which band or what, unless it's Christian Avstrom, and Christian Avstrom is God when it comes to melodic death metal. And I might allegedly mix in some K-pop, but it's only on a good day. I don't get why one would use anything below a 30G pins. It works perfectly for me. Yeah, so 30 gauges, I mean, those are beautiful, but if you have to do 3 milliliter shots of Bayer Primobolan, you're going to sit there for an hour trying to pin through a 30 gauge. So, yeah. Yeah, baking flour. What? It's the same thing, right? Baking flour. Baking powder, baking flour. Just, yeah. It's whatever you use to bake shit, right? Pound cake. Minus the sugar and minus the butter. Yeah, 30 gauge pins. That is the way. What is the best way to get baseline heart assessment before switching from TRT to cycling? And which should I get? I want to root out left ventricular hypertrophy, etc. Also, how frequently should I recheck them all? So I would do a baseline heart assessment now, because otherwise you have to come off TRT. And then I think heart remodeling occurs after a couple months, of doing consistent cardio and perhaps a beta blocker and ubiquinol. So that takes a while. So I would just walk in now. Ask for a electrocardiogram first. It's a step-by-step process in most countries. So electrocardiogram for I don't know 1 minute, 2 minutes. Right? They use that as a baseline to see if there's any arrhythmias. Then after that, they probably use the fucking stethoscope. Is it that thing? Stethoscope. Why do we make these names so impossible to pronounce, dude? Yeah, stethoscope. Use that to kind of check up on your heart. Right? It's a procedure. And then ask them for an ultrasound, an echo on your heart. That is probably the best way to determine, or an early detection method for left ventricular hypertrophy. You know, and regurgitation of the atrium and the, you know, the ventriculars, right, regarding the valves. And then after that, you can either do a MRI, which is probably good for you know, indexed like heart functioning when they you know, when they administer the, what is it called, the contrast. This is adenosine, by the way, hyperventilating galore. And then a CT scan will be mostly for plaque buildup, right, or stenosis. So it really depends. It's a step-by-step process, and then discuss that with your doctor to see which tests are required in your individual case. So again, electrocardiogram, right, with the electrodes. They listen to you, you discuss, and then you ask for an ultrasound. That's what I would do. And then depending on the ultrasound results, where they can already detect the left ventricular hypertrophy, then you might want to do additional imaging in the form of an MRI, again, if needed, to see how bad the left ventricular hypertrophy is. Because the ejection fraction on an echo and an MRI is different, as you guys could see from my results, which I documented here on YouTube. Right? Was there an ejection fraction on my CT scan? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there was an ejection fraction. Okay, CT scan also measures ejection fraction. Yeah, so I've done it multiple times. So I've done an echo 4 times to kind of keep track. I've done an MRI once and a CT scan once. I'll do the MRI maybe in a couple of years and a CT scan in a couple of years also. I wanted to do the Pronuvo in the USA, but I simply didn't have the time. I was just in so much demand, running around doing stuff. So maybe next year I should just plan less and do more preventative health stuff. You don't have the Pronuvo CT scans as in depth as they have in the United States here in Thailand. So, but then again, you know, all the last results were all good. It's my cardiac markers that are off, and we all know what's to blame, or at least I think I know what's to blame. You can't talk about that here anymore on YouTube, but then you get muted. So, all right? And don't go crazy in the comment section because I'll fucking ban all of you fuckers. Tired of seeing that shit. Go take your conspiracy stuff somewhere else. So if you want to rule out left ventricular hypertrophy, an echo is a good place to start. Also, does low estrogen cause left ventricular hypertrophy? And if so, how does estrogen have to be? How low does estrogen have to be? I can't remember reading that in the literature, but I'll be completely honest that I haven't dived into the correlation between low estrogen and left ventricular hypertrophy. All right, I've looked into the correlation between low estrogen and aneurysms. I've looked into the correlation of chronic weed smoking and aneurysms, but I haven't looked into low estrogen and left ventricular hypertrophy. That could be the case. It could not be the case. But if there's scientific evidence for it, then they probably give an indication of likelihood based on the range of estrogen. Yeah. So I would say that it's probably good to keep your estrogen somewhat favorable, ideally at the high side if your testosterone levels are also high. That seems to give most people the best health effects. Because again, estrogen has a lot of health benefits. So crushing it for longer than 2 weeks, 3 weeks leading into the bodybuilding contest, I don't think it's really good for you. Right? But then again, bodybuilding competition isn't very healthy. So those guys understand the risks. Well, actually, most of them don't. Most of them don't. But they take the risks because they want to win a plastic trophy. Big House. Have you ever owned a pressure cooker instant pot? Shit is life changing. Yes, it is. Yeah, I have one. Yeah, but I barely use it though because my air fryer is taking me very, very far. And I am of the firm opinion that even though I cook 5 times per day, fresh meals freshly prepared, I don't want to waste too much time on it because I just got so much stuff to do. So the meals are short breaks for me in between, a couple working hours. So I have like every 2.5 hours, have a meal break. I cook, I eat, I don't do anything work. It takes about 20 minutes, and then I continue with work. So with the pressure cooker, every time I use them, and it takes a little bit longer to build up the pressure and stuff. It takes a little bit longer, and then you also have to clean it and release the pressure. And it's too cumbersome, right? Too cumbersome. So, but it is a very nice way to cook food. Yeah, yeah. It's better than the what is it called? The air fryer, because that kind of dries everything out. Yeah, unfortunately. So pressure cooker is definitely more tasty, especially if you put some beef in there with beef stock and then some proper vegetables and you let it sit in there for a couple hours. Oh man, that's some life-changing steak. That's for sure. Jake, I was wondering if performance-enhancing drugs like Anavar and others can get into the semen. Yeah, so apparently yes. If so, I should avoid ejaculating inside my wife before pregnancy, but essentially during pregnancy, but especially during pregnancy. So you shouldn't be on steroids when you're trying to get your wife pregnant. I thought I discussed this. So go through the scientific literature. I went through all the scientific literature regarding SARMs, and they're in a day. That's it. It's like 80 studies or something. I'll index all of them, right? You guys wanted to see a SARMs, how to do a SARMs only cycle safely. So I went through all of the literature in a day and made a video about it. And apparently they're using some sort of metabolism testing for urine, hair, and ejaculates to see if there's any SARM metabolites in there. So yeah, you can detect it, and there's something like transvaginal absorption. That's why you have some inserts like vaginal contraceptives, and even vaginal estrogen, for example, or progesterone that is absorbed transvaginally. Also important, impossible to pronounce. So technically, if you're ejaculating Anavar in her, or Anavar metabolites, you could absorb that. And if you do that during pregnancy, then that's probably not good for your baby, because the ratio of Anavar or Anavar metabolites to the infant is going to be significantly higher compared to the ratio of the Anavar or metabolites to your wife, or you for that matter. So I would not do that. I would not do that. Are there any studies on that subject? Probably not. Could that be one of the reasons why kids of bodybuilders have issues? Maybe. Right? I mean, there seems to be an instance of autism, but I still don't know why. Right? I still don't know why. So I came off cycle because I don't want to. I want to have the best opportunities for my kid. So no. You get your wife pregnant off cycle, and then you can take steroids, and then you come in other orifices, like the ass or the mouth, if you must, or you just fucking make it rain. Right? That's fine. It's less messy than dealing with the metabolites. Let's see, Bronson. I have yet to donate blood since becoming enhanced. I'm assuming I will have to do this on EQ cycle. Is it okay to donate while you're on gear, or should I be doing a therapeutic blood donation? Well, why don't you do your blood work and see if your hematocrit, red blood cell count, hemoglobin, and all those markers related to your complete blood count panel actually require you to donate blood. Because if you're on something like enalapril and telmisartan to a certain extent, or other medications, or you're eating a pescatarian diet, you don't eat so much beef, then it's very likely that your hematocrit and red blood cell count and serum iron levels are not that elevated, and thus you don't need to donate blood. And all the guys who feel better after donating blood, it's because their blood pressure is so freaking high. I mean, if you have like a couple liters of blood, right, and you take a pint of blood out, then your blood pressure goes down. Right? Of course, if you have high hematocrit, high red blood cell count, you might feel a little bit anxiety, like a little bit of bundled up feeling inside, especially when you train or bend over to tie your shoelaces, if you still can, if you're a freak. So yeah, do your blood work first and then see if it's required. And of course, donating blood on gear or medications or whatever. Yeah, some of that medications in gear is actually being transferred to the patient. But if you need a blood donation, blood transfusion, might be something to say for having a little bit of testosterone or steroids alongside of that. I mean, nandrolone and anadrol are prescribed in cases of anemia. So why don't you make it easier for the patient? And when you go donate blood, have some Anadrol in there, right? You get the. It's very irresponsible, but you guys know what I mean, right? So, so yeah. I mean, you could do a therapeutic blood donation. You know, again, if somebody needs blood, I don't think that the steroids or the small amount of steroids that are contained within their blood are going to matter much in the context of them getting healthy, because they don't only need your blood, but they probably also need blood from other people, right? People who get transfusions don't just get a pint of blood; they get more. They get more than that. Yeah, in many cases. So, personally, I wouldn't worry about it. Uh, but if you are, then come off cycle or do a therapeutic blood donation, you know, but do your blood work first. Bronson. Blood work is scheduled in a week from now, taking Benilol and Cialis for blood pressure, Nebivolol. Yeah, so I mean, your blood is now full with steroids and Nebivolol and Cialis, right? I mean, if you want to do the blood donation fast, I mean, add some aspirin to there, to that, and then you just donate like. I mean, that's what I did for a therapeutic blood donation a while back when my hematocrit was sky fucking high. I just took an aspirin and some Cialis, and then it just so you don't have this fucking needle in your arm, which is fucking huge. Just tearing you up from the inside. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would do if it's for a therapeutic blood donation. But I would, if you want to give blood away to save somebody's life, ideally you have the least amount of exogenous, or a cocktail of exogenous drugs in your bloodstream, right? So take it easy, man. It's been 1 hour already. Oh wow, that was fast. All right, I guess it's time to go to the bathroom. Bathroom break. Be right. And then we're gonna go public and let the herd join. Okay, well let's make it interesting, right? Let's bet $10. We're going to get a SARMS question, MK677. We're going to get BPC 157 or TB 500 questions. We're going to get a couple TRT questions, and what is also a common question? I think those three will make an appearance. Yeah. Yeah, $10 each. You guys figure out what I need to donate to if this don't come by, and otherwise one of you guys has to donate $10 for each time these questions comes along. No, I'm just joking, but we'll surely make an appearance of those same questions. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Let's see, put this live. Oh, no, public. And let's wait for those commonly asked questions every single week. All right, peace out. Be right back. What's up, my dudes? It's a vigorous Q&A. Let's see. Mm. Guys, my hamstrings are so sore and I'm cramping. I did hamstrings today like a boss. I can barely keep it still. All right. Thomas, that would be a big lose for us. Yeah. Let's do herd bingo. All right, let's see what happens. And only the members will know what we bet it for. Let's see. Actually, Bronson, we never got these questions. I can foresee I'm afraid of needles type of cycle questions. But I mean, last week everybody put F in the chat for the SERMs only cycle question or video. So yeah, that video I recorded. Yeah, that video I recorded. What's up, Iron Grids? All right, I hope your girlfriend is on a break today so you can actually moderate. Ah, there we go. No girlfriend around this time to distract me so you guys are on your best behavior. I did legs yesterday, can barely walk upstairs. Yeah, me too, buddy. I mean, I did hamstrings today, then I went to Cheesecake Factory. My electrolyte balance is all messed up, and I'm sitting here cramping. So if I need to make, put myself into weird positions just to release the cramp, then you guys know what's going on. Bitcoin chill at 44,000. Yeah, so last week we discussed like I was feeling that it was not going to go any higher, right? And then as soon as the live stream was over, I look at the chart. I'm like, holy fuck! Like I was all out, dude. So I did some quick technical analysis and I looked at all the metrics and I FOMO'd in 25% into Bitcoin and 25% into Ethereum. Yeah, and I made some gains. Which of course I missed out on maybe $500, right? Or yeah, $700 or something. But right, sometimes you feel from your technical analysis that the resistance is so strong that we might come down or retrace a little bit. But I guess that didn't happen. So I was early enough to FOMO back in, and that certainly paid off. Yeah, and I feel that now Ethereum ran a little bit. That broke through, and now you see that the altcoins are running. So we might be good up until 48,000. But let's see. Let's see, right? Don't take my word for it. I got it wrong last week, and I had to take a loss to make a profit. And, well, if you make a profit with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you can't really complain, right? So, what hardware wallet do you use? I got a Ledger. Yeah, I got a few Ledgers laying around. Let's see. Let's start answering some questions. So yeah, David, in your HRT ebook, you mentioned the amount of HCG to use on HRT. Yeah, it should be between 100 IOs to 125 IOs 3 times per week. But in your videos, you managed 250 to 500 IOs 3 per week. Which one is the correct dosage? I would go towards the later. I mean, you gotta keep in mind that those HRT ebooks are a little bit old, right? And I should revise them, but the problem is that those HRT ebooks are so plagiarized that honestly, I don't feel incentivized to work on it anymore because people just keep copying and copying and copying. So all the updated knowledge will be at the membership section or what I'm releasing publicly. I mean, the HRT ebooks are still a great guide to kind of get you started. But yeah, I would lean more towards 250 to 500 IUs, and keep in mind, like 100 to 125 IUs will work if, or back in the day, when HCG was still available as a pharmaceutical left and right. And that's no longer the case, dude. I mean, people in the USA voted for a guy that is very anti-steroids. And now they're cracking down on HCG and all the peptides, right? So at times it's changing. Yeah. So it's still a good book, still a good read, but you might want to watch some of the updated HRT videos to get some new ideas, right? I mean, you got to go with the times. So a lot of people don't have access to pharmaceutical HCG anymore. Right, so you need a little bit, use a little bit more, right? And I have to put these ranges in there because I never know what kind of quality you use, and I never know what you have access to, right? So I could put a range of 100 IUs to 500 IUs, and then people still don't know what to do, right? So, I don't know, get your hands dirty, see what works best. That's what I would say. Okay, Steve, after a month of 30 milligrams testosterone every day and 6.25 milligrams Aromasin Monday, Thursday, twice a week, my estradiol went to 23 from 40. Okay. So you're on 210 milligrams testosterone per week and 12.5 milligrams Aromasin per week. Should have stopped the Aromasin for 2 weeks and then proceed with 6.5 milligrams once per week. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you could do that. That's long enough for the Aromasin to kind of metabolize from your body, or at least the large majority of it. And then you reintroduce 6.25 milligrams once per week. I don't think that your testosterone levels is going to go, or your estrogen levels is going to go from 23 to 100 in as little as 2 weeks. But again, if you notice dramatic changes based on your blood pressure or your water retention or libido changes, then wait shorter than 2 weeks and add in the 6.25 milligrams Aromasin once per week, right? Or maybe even split that up into half, even though the active life of Aromasin is, multiple days. So once a week dosing is doable. Yeah, is doable. Let's see. First cycles, I didn't know how much I aromatize. Perhaps 40 to 45 would be ideal. Yeah, I would say that that's ideal. I mean, on that much test and 30 milligrams testosterone every day. And again, you're doing daily administration, so that means you already get less conversion of testosterone into estradiol. Right, so maybe even without the Aromasin, you'll be 40. Right, or were you 40? Oh, you were 40 before, probably. Okay. So again, experiment, do your blood work, see how you feel, see how you look, see what the numbers look like on paper, and then try to piece it together that way. Yep. Nice and slow, and then eventually you'll figure it out. Man, everything is about crypto now. This stream is sponsored by the Red Shadow Legends. all these fucking YouTube channels with their fucking bullshit promotions, dude. Every single day in my inbox, I get the weirdest requests to promote shit on my YouTube channel, and I tell them all 5,000 or fuck off. And nobody's did it offer like $100 or $500. I'm not gonna bore you guys with a $500 promotion. Fucking hell, dude. Some of these YouTube channels are lusty, dude, for a couple dollars. All right, Jake Applebaum. If my free T4 is staying in the normal range while on growth hormone, why would I need to add in T4? Well, it's about your T3 levels also, right? It's not just free T4. It's total T4, free T3, total T3, and then a thyroid stimulating hormone. So if your growth hormone levels, you might have normal free T4 because your thyroid binding globulins are also, lowered by taking steroids. Then your total T4 might be low and your thyroid stimulating hormone might be high because your T3 levels are low, right? So your total T4 levels are low. Your free might be high because thyroid binding globulin levels are low from the steroids. And then the conversion into T3 is reduced, and thus your thyroid stimulating hormone is elevated or unfavorable. And then you're burning your thyroid gland, and then you get goiter. No, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get what I'm going at, right? So most people do well on 50 to 100 micrograms T4 alongside their growth hormone. And $20. Holy shit. We're making bank. So I would say just add it in when you're over 2 IUs of growth hormone per day. Yeah. Let's see. If you were to purchase raws for a budget cycle, which ones would you buy? Testosterone endothate and boldenone on distillate. Yeah, you purchase an amount for 1, maybe 3 years. Oh man, guys on a bulk. Yeah, testosterone endothate and boldenone on distillate. Yeah, that's what I would get if you're on a budget. All right, here we go. 20 freaking euros. How many dollars is that? Is it still 1-to-1? USD. It's 2 cheesecakes right there. $21.55. And then after the cut of YouTube, it's like $5. No, I'm joking. It's a big cut. Jesse R asks, been cutting 175 milligrams testosterone and 100 milligrams Primo per week for 1.5 months in total. Telmisartan is 40 milligrams, Nembutal 5 milligrams. Blood pressure is nicely in range. It might be a little bit too much ancillaries for the amount of steroids you're taking, but yeah, please check your serum potassium levels also next time you go in for blood work. Was feeling weak, overtrained, went to the hospital, took an EKG. So that's an electrocardiogram or an echocardiogram. Showed not good troponin I, 430, then down 394 after 2 weeks. What the fuck? I would get some additional heart imaging done because we're not sure if that's about the steroids that you're taking or previous pandemic issues, right? All things combined. So I would discuss this with a cardiologist. It's that simple, right? I'm not familiar on what to do if cardiac markers are elevated. Otherwise, I would be able to get mine in range, which none of the cardiologists here in Thailand have an explanation for. So I hope you can find a good cardiologist and then discuss it with them, right? And maybe do some additional imaging. So please, yeah, don't ask me. Thanks for your super chat, but I'm not qualified to really help you with that. Besides, refer you to a cardiologist. All right, next one. Let's see. Sean, love from Philadelphia. I had a lot of Philadelphia cream cheese today, my cheesecake. All right, big house. What are your thoughts on thyroid stimulating hormone being in the low end of the reference range and T4 being way below the range? Body temperature is low. Okay, so that might be impaired metabolism, right? But again, you have to look into the total picture, see what's going on. You know, are you B vitamin deficient? Are you iodine deficient? Are you selenium deficient? Do you have a pituitary adenoma? All right, there's so many things that can go on, and going off low TSH and low T4 levels is a bit of a stretch. So, right, do some additional research and do some additional testing to kind of piece that together, because it could be a multitude of different things, or it could be a moment in time. Could be a moment in time. All right, where are we? Thanks a lot. Already appointed an echo, but I suspect left ventricular hypertrophy. Yeah, it could be. I mean, keep in mind, if cardiac markers are elevated, it could be that spots of your heart are not getting enough oxygen, and then these kinds of markers are going up, right? And that could be left ventricular hypertrophy. It could be previous myocarditis from reasons. It could be drug abuse. Also, it could be something hereditary. So again, just get it diagnosed and discuss it with your cardiologist, and look into your family history and your drug history, which is pretty easy. I mean, if it's 175 milligrams of test and 100 milligrams of primo, right? But the telmisartan and the bivol, I think, is overdoing it a little bit. So again, run it all past somebody who's qualified on the heart, and then take it from there. Yeah. Fuck, should I even mention this? This is why we use pharmaceutical grades. Yeah, but heavy metal content of underground labs coming from China or India, that's always been a common problem. So I would stick with pharmaceutical grade. Yeah, as I always tell you guys, right? Or homebrew or pharmaceutical grade. But underground labs, especially ones from China, dude, I would not touch that, even if it was the last gear on the planet. Fuck no. Even though all the raws come from China, but if a third party is testing that, then in the form of a pharmaceutical grade, and have particular guidelines, United States Standard Pharmacopoeia, for example, good manufacturing practices, then at least you're less of a risk that your the raws that they get from China are contaminated. And that's also a risk that you run actually with homebrewing, right? Unless you go with a real legitimate source. And even then, I would still send it into Januszek or another place to test to see if there's any heavy metals or other contaminants in there. Yeah. The longer you do this, the what kind of picture is that? Is that a not safe for work picture? As a dog. I thought it was something else. All right. Ethros. Which aromatase inhibitors is the quickest to clear from your system for a WADA test, and how much time is needed since the last dose to pass the test? All right, let's see if I have my notes here. And again, the Olympics are coming up, guys, and after that, I'm not sure if the detection times are still valid, because I heard through the grapevine that they're really stepping up their detection time and screening game. Let's see. Where is it? Ah, here it is. PED detection time. All right. Now let's just scroll down to the bottom. All right, unknown detection time. Letrozole. This is 2020. I haven't looked at it since 2020, so I couldn't find the detection time then. So that one I wouldn't use or do research. Many of the studies that mention doping tests actually are published in PubMed. Let's see. Aromasin is 3 weeks. And Arimidex is 5 weeks. So yeah, Aromasin. I would go to Aromasin. It seems to be a 3-week detection time. And that's pretty recent. I might put that in the member section, just go through all of the scientific evidence regarding the detection times, but it's very late on the to-do list. Yeah, that's very late. I want to go through all the steroid profiles first, and that's a lot of work, right? I already started, but it will be a while before I'm ready to start recording, because, you need to have everything kind of in place to really draw a good conclusion and just get started with those videos. But I did debunk the anabolic to androgenic ratings. Yeah. That was a fun one. 50 minutes long. It's probably going to be in the membership section also, because it will get no views. So, long story short, anabolic to androgenic ratings from the anabolics books. Stretched. Very far stretch. Yeah. So, Aromasin is the way we go. 3 weeks. 3 weeks detection time. Yeah. But, of course, if you stop your testosterone at 5 weeks out, then you don't need Aromasin, because the testosterone levels will just decline. Even though testosterone propionate you can use up to 2 weeks, and testosterone suspension up to 4 or 5 days, depending on the scar tissue that you pin it in. And again, the detection time for testosterone suspension with subcutaneous administration is not really known. And so last week I mentioned about D-Chiro-Inositol, right? D-Chiro-Inositol aromatase. Let's see. No. Is an aromatase downregulator. I'll link it here at the top. Have a look at this. Save. Look at that PubMed study that I just posted. So just refresh this. You might be able to use that instead of Aromasin, while the Aromasin is clearing from your system. Blake, thoughts on Brian Johnson's and the follistatin gene therapy treatment he just did? I haven't really looked into what Brian Johnson was doing, but you guys asked me last week about that follistatin skeletal muscle specific drug. What was it called? AC follistatin peptide. What was it called? I forgot. But it does look very promising. Yeah. Yeah, it does look pretty promising. I just forgot the name. I've been researching about SARMs all week because you guys wanted to see a SARMs only video, a SARMs only cycle video. So yeah, it does look promising. I talked with I was at the Dr. Adil Khan seminar, who also talked about follistatin gene therapy. And what was his name? Juji Mufu actually did 1 or 2 treatments, and then I talked to Juji Mufu, and he said he didn't really feel any different. So, right, and he's a pretty big guy and well trained, and allegedly on a little bit more than follistatin gene therapy. So, yeah, stay tuned, I guess. Dr. Adil Khan was willing to get on the podcast, but it might be somewhere next year because Christmas is coming around. So, all these guys are kind of, having an easy time going forward. What compound cycles would you recommend for an 18-19 to address? Sorry, Daddy, I can't answer this question. And you know why? So good luck. Thanks for your 9 pounds, 10 pounds. But I cannot answer that question. You need to discuss this with a medical professional, right? So sorry, I can't help you there. Sorry, buddy. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself, right? This is not the right place to ask that. You need to ask that with a medical professional and get diagnosed if you even have hypothyroidism or go through puberty correctly, because you might think you didn't go through it, and you want to go through a masculinization protocol, but maybe the medical professional has a different idea for that, and I cannot contribute to the risk that you're willing to take. So good luck. Good luck. Will you be live streaming more often? No. Once a week is more than enough. once per week is more than enough, guys. Yeah. Plus, these live streams, because the audience retention is so shit, it kind of kills your channel. So, the shorts kill your channel, the live streams kill your channel. It's YouTube is fucked, man. If you want to grow your channel, all you can do is make 10, 20-minute videos. That's it. Right? And then you have to make a new channel and live stream there. But how many people are going to move over? Right? And then people start complaining, oh, you do the live stream on your main channel. Right? Dude, you can't win, man, on this platform. Can't fucking win. People are bitching about the smallest things. So once a week. Yeah, so here, ACE 083. So yeah, it did a little bit of research on it this week. So that's the follistatin drug. It does look promising. Yeah, but legitimate sources or talking to people who used it. I haven't ran into anybody yet. So I would probably have to do more research and run an experiment for myself. But I know I can ask, some pros if they've looked into it. But then again, like if you inject IGF-1, right, intramuscularly, you would assume it to work locally, right? But that's not the case. It still spills into the bloodstream, and then you can detect it there. So you inject the growth hormone or IGF-1 into your chest, and then, of course, you get a little bit of a localized effect, a little bit of a pump, right? But then serum IGF-1 levels also go up. So that's a systemic effect. And if you put ACE 083 and they say it's 100% skeletal muscle selective, and the evidence might show that to a certain extent in animal models. So I take it all with a grain of salt. So it's, yeah, man, I lost my thought there. If the ACE 083 is going systemic and then starts binding to or starts potentiating, follistatin inhibiting effects, or follistatin effects, myostatin inhibiting effects in the organs, then eventually your organs will grow also. So I would proceed with caution, even though it does look promising, right? Let people run some experiments, and then, growing muscle tissue you would want to do at the least expense of your organs. And I think there's enough, people out there with blown out organs and big waists and that kind of stuff. So if you want to keep bodybuilding aesthetic again, I would proceed with caution. Yeah. But eventually we'll give Dr. Khan on, and then he can talk about it, because obviously he's applying these therapies to people already. So so just stay tuned for that interview. Let's see. A Fitness. Steve, is there a difference between IGF-1 LR3 and growth hormone intramuscular versus sub-Q? I have seen both sides with the heightened IGF. So yeah, I mean, if you inject it intramuscularly, you would assume a localized effect. Now, I've done growth hormone in my right chest for about a year straight. I didn't grow my right chest because I feel my right chest is a little bit smaller, and that was pharmaceutical norditropin and genotropin. So even though the scientific evidence might show that IGF-1 through autocrine might increase, real world experience begs to differ. Now, if you start injecting IGF-1 LR3, I do feel you get a localized effect. Yeah, I got that from the Increlex, and I got that from the IGF-1 LR3. But it will still spill into the bloodstream, where you can detect it with serum analysis. So I would say growth hormone has, marginal effects locally. And of course, autocrine IGF-1 signaling might occur, but it will probably be marginally compared to IGF-1 injection. So if you're going to go this route, do it all intramuscularly, and do a lot of deep tissue massage therapy, because even those insulin syringes, the scar tissue will build up. Yeah. Make Aaron use it. Yeah, but I'm not going to pay for him. So I have to decide that for himself. Let's see. Hopefully, the algo for live streams will be better. YouTube has a podcast tab too. Google Podcast is being shut down. Really? I just applied there. So YouTube will have to take over those users. Long format videos could get better treatment. I know they said the ad blocks were going to increase revenue streams, but I haven't seen it. Anyway, it's just YouTube is just a marketing platform, right? And then you need to attach additional services to that, like personalized services or ebooks or membership sites or affiliates, right? In the end, all of this is just promotion. And whatever I get extra on top of that from the YouTube algo, a couple extra $1,000, great. A couple super chats, which are also declining, by the way. Right? I used to make like $200, $250 per live stream, and now it's like $75. Yeah, the economy is bad. So all things are declining, which is okay. We're still going to keep going though, because live streams are fun, right? And you guys seem to enjoy it. So we're still going to keep going. But I might have to pull the plug after my wife is pregnant and gives birth. So 9 months from now, at least, because she's not pregnant yet. Because then I don't think I can spare this 2.5 hours because I'll be on baby duty. Because my wife will go to bed at 11, and then I'm awake until like 4 o'clock in the morning, so she can have a proper night's sleep, and I can be on baby duty. So there might not be any live streams then anymore, maybe once a month. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. AK, hey, any opinion on Dr. James here on YouTube? So yeah, I just found this YouTube channel, I think a week ago, and he just did blood work today. Seems like a fun guy. So a lot of overlap with my content, though. I will say that. I will say that, Dr. James. There's a lot of overlap. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of overlap. But he looks like a fun dude. I mean, I like his editing style. His message is good. He's positive. I think he's really playing into this oral only stuff, like I got started like semi promotion of performance enhancing drugs. Right? That's always the best way to grow. So I like this guy. Yeah, maybe we should get him on a podcast too. Yeah, maybe we should get him on too. So send him a message. Tell him to watch his live streams. Say that Steve is interested. All right? Make it so. Go forth and make it so. All right? Engage. Engage in a positive way. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's really a doctor, but hey, if Tony can get away with it, then I'm sure James can get away with it too. The crypto's going up right now. Let's see. Oh man, it says 44. What are you talking about? Stop bullshitting me. All right, never mind. I don't have all my charts here. Bags are looking better every day. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Is your wife pregnant? No, not yet. Not yet, guys. It takes time. Sucks though. Sucks. I'm making love to her so hard, but she's still not pregnant yet. You would think that, based on all the education that they gave in school, that getting your wife pregnant is going to be easy. But when you're 40 years old, it takes a while. So, no, stay tuned. Luckily, I'm in a good shape, physical, healthy. And even though TRT is really on my mind all the time, I'm still managing. I'm still strong in the gym. I still look good. I have a six-pack. I'm lean. I'm energetic. I'm productive. But I would kill for a load of TRT, that's for sure. Yeah, but so far, so good. Don't worry. Yeah, it's not difficult at all to be on HCG monotherapy. And people that bitch about it, well, you probably haven't lived life much. Much worse things than coming off testosterone. But then again, my testosterone levels are 700 nanograms per deciliter. So if you come off testosterone, you do HCG monotherapy, and it's like 200 nanograms per deciliter, okay, I would complain too. Yeah, I would complain too. Do you still take growth hormone? Yes, I still take growth hormone. Yeah, 2.4 I use per day. Yeah, because I'm growth hormone deficient, and no, that's not really true, but growth hormone does have a positive effect on libido. So, or not more libido, maybe fertility. Yeah, plenty of scientific evidence that shows that. So growth hormone is still in the picture, and then HCG and FSH, and then around the time that I try to get my wife pregnant, some extra glutathione. Yeah, even though after I did my DNA fragmentation tests, I brought the dose down quite significantly because I realized I didn't need that much glutathione every single day. So I brought it down. What's your free T looking at the moment? Well, my SHBG was like 55 or 60. So off the top, I never look at my free T. All these guys, look at your free T. Look at your, that's more important. It's a total, it's not just one number. It doesn't matter if it's free T or bioavailable T. You have to look into the total picture of all your health parameters. So I have no idea what my free T is off the top of my head. I know that my total T is anywhere between 600 to 700. My estrogen is around 30 to 35. And it's also total estrogen, right? And whatever my free T for, I mean, I could put it into a fucking calculator, right? Total free testosterone. What is that website? Calculator. Yeah, HM.ch. Albumin is usually 4.4. SHBG is about 55. My total testosterone is, let's say, 700 last time I checked. So my free testosterone is 11 nanograms per deciliter, and my bioavailable is 265. That's from what I remember. Maybe I have it here. No. I made a video about my blood work before and after the United States. And my blood work after the United States was not good. So I was pretty harsh. And then I went through the pre-edit. And then I realized, you know what, my American audience is like 40%. They're not going to like it. So I did not upload that video. Long story short, a lot of marketers got bad after a month in the US. But my testosterone levels were pretty similar because I stayed on top of my HCG and FSH. Thank you, Chase Irons. Yeah, lifesaver. All right, where are we? Hey, coach, tips for muscle spasms. It's not electrolytes, taking taurine and magnesium. Maybe you're choline deficient. You know, alpha GPC might help, or just choline-rich foods. I mean, it helps with central nervous system signaling to a skeletal muscle. And you see that choline deficiency might cause, actually, wasn't that high choline levels? High choline muscle spasms. Man, that really recorded this video last week. Entrepreneur Tropics notes. Thank God I still have these notes available here. Acetylcholine. All right, where is it? All right, symptoms of low acetylcholine: memory deficits, cognitive impairment, muscle difficulty concentrating, and muscle weakness. Oh, high acetylcholine, muscle spasms. All right, so don't supplement with choline. See how much choline you're getting in, right? If you're taking a boatload of alpha GPC, maybe that's the cause. Yeah, it's good that I remember it, but it was not low choline levels, but high choline levels. Look there. Let's see, Flare 93. My blood glucose went from 81 to 91 within a week, despite using berberine, 10,000 steps every day, and doing cardio 4 times a week, 4 times a weekend. Is it time for a diet? Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, sounds like it. But then again, you're not over 100 milligrams per deciliter yet. So if you're currently on the bulk, a bulk harder, bro. 10,000 steps every day, doing cardio 4 times a weekend. So what, you do morning and evening, but the rest of the week you just do 10,000 steps. Maybe cut your carbs, you know, for like 2 days, 3 days in half, and then see what happens to your blood glucose levels and your body weight, right? Maybe you drop it quite significantly, and maybe that is your mini diet to kind of resensitize it. Yeah, maybe your fasting cortisol levels are just elevated because you're doing so many steps and so much cardio, and then maybe you're slightly stressed. And if cortisol levels are elevated in the morning, you release more blood glucose in the morning as well, and thus your fasting blood glucose levels are going up. So, right, look into all the things, and yeah, make some adjustments. Magic Baby, I bought your insulin ebook and you mentioned an ebook about nutrition. Yeah, I planned to make a boatload of ebooks and then people started copying it. So I didn't make any more ebooks. It's that simple. So I mentioned like an acne ebook and a blood pressure ebook and all that kind of stuff because I expected all those, to make all those ebooks. And then they started ending up on forums where they got downloaded like 7,000 times. So you do the math. You see the insulin ebook download 7,000 times $100. That's a lot of revenue lost. So I didn't feel inclined to make more. Right. And I don't have the manpower or incentive to start, sending DMCA takedowns. So what we're going to do is do all that stuff behind the paywall. And then it won't be $100. Well, insulin details will be behind the $100 paywall with other information. But it will just be $20. So when it's ready, it's ready. You have a boatload of high quality videos that you guys are familiar with from me, and I'll promise you that will put all the other membership sites to shame. My content will fucking destroy all these guys. Yeah, you'll see. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Eke Grata Occult. How do you keep keto enjoyable and sustainable? I know you have a video on this where you give 2,500 calories for ketogenic diet, but if I was wondering if you do this every single day, I eat the same fucking day every single day, or same fucking food every single day. So I eat for purpose, and if I want to go eat for enjoyment, then it's over the weekend. So you have one cheat meal in the week, or you enjoy yourself. If you want to follow this lifestyle, if you want to be healthy, you got to disassociate the pleasure from the nutrition. All right. So throughout the entire week, I eat steak, I eat salmon, I eat chicken, I eat eggs. Once in a while, I have a little bit of pork. Once in a while, I have a little bit of shrimp. Once in a while, I have some white fish, and then other points in time, I don't have any steak. I eat more white fish, right? Depending on what my goals are. I have a boatload of vegetables. I have some avocado, some nut seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, all that shit. And I get insane pleasure of knowing that my meal is highly nutritious and doing all kinds of good stuff to my body, not making it inflamed, not making me have digestion issues. Like my digestion right now, fuck, so good. It just goes through. Maybe tomorrow not, because I just had Cheesecake Factory, and that's of course a little bit outside of my dietary restrictions normally. But learn how to cook and learn how to enjoy nutritious foods, because that is the way to go, right? You have to enjoy the healthy part of it, and then once a week, you go eat whatever the fuck you want. So at least you fulfill that craving, but not more than once a week. And if you can't do that, then, well, I don't know what to say. I need to eat. Oh, too bad. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the Vigorous crew, dude. Thank you, brother, for all you do. My pleasure. Thanks for joining. Follow up. All right. Is D-Chiro-Inositol that you recommended currently banned for sport? No, it's not. No. No, it is not. And what's the difference from ITTP, which is banned? Is ITPP banned? Is that banned? Was it? I can't remember. So D-Chiro-Inositol is not banned. And it works differently. So ITTP works mostly by, man, was that correct? Inositol tripyrophosphate. Hey, it was increasing the hemoglobin oxygen concentration, right? Is that banned? Is it? Can't remember. Let's see. Allow all. I thought I included in the WADA prohibited list. Oh no, I included in the endurance deep dive. This WADA website is natural is enough. Go fuck yourself. Fucking losers. Fuck, the people that work for WADA are fucking pathetic, dude. Fucking weirdos. And I met plenty of them, and they're all fucking weirdos. Prohibited list. Well, hopefully the enhanced games will take off, and then this fucking WADA joke of a fucking organization will no longer be in power. Give it a few years. All right, where is this fucking list? I like it how they don't just have it on the fucking front page so they can inform athletes. You have to, you know. All right, let's search this fucking list for inositol. Nothing of the sorts of inositol is on the WADA. Why am I getting the 2023? These fucking clowns, dude. All right, prohibited list. Sorry, guys. I have to use Google. Is this the proper list? Download options. English. Do I get the 20? Ah, here it is. Okay. Inositol. Dude, inositol is not on the prohibited list. Not D-Chiro-Inositol, not, what is it called? Myoinositol tripyrophosphate. It's not on the prohibited list. So you can take both. Which is banned. ITPP. Yeah, ITTP is not on the list, dude. Maybe it's banned by your private, sports, but I don't think it's on there. Their website is annoying to navigate. Yeah. Yeah, we should, what's it? Designated denial of service? Bring these fuckers down. No, not banned, dude. Not banned. Here, I'll link it down below so you can have a look at the list yourself. And guys, do me a favor. Do me a favor. F in the chat. F in chat if you think WADA is fucking pathetic. Let's do it. Make it happen. F in the chat. Let's go. There's 113 people here. Show me the love. You guys are great. All right, let's start answering the question. Ithra, send me the link where ITPP is banned. I couldn't find it in the prohibited list, dude. And then again, WADA, if they want to make you fail, they'll make you fail, dude. They'll just change arbitrarily. They change the rules, and they'll make you fail for something. Or they'll say that you failed, and then you ask for sample B to be tested, and then you're not failed. Corrupt as fuck, these pieces of shit. Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait for Dr. Aaron DeSouza to make his dreams come true. Thanks. The cognitive gains on keto are fully worth it. Also, thanks for recommending ubiquinol. Had great cardio today despite still adapting to keto. Yeah, just keep doing the keto, man. After a month, 2 months, you feel absolutely great. Of course, it's not good for gains, but it's good for cognitive effects, right? I mean, I never claimed that keto is going to be magic to gain all kinds of muscle size. So the bodybuilding community is always like, oh, keto doesn't work, keto doesn't work. It works great if you prioritize making money over making gains. And that's why all the entrepreneurs that I talk to that are banking, right? The gains are in the bank account. Most of them are doing keto, dude. A lot of them are doing keto. Not all of them, but a large portion that I talk to are doing keto, and that's like, dude, I'm like 5 times more productive, and my income has tripled or whatever, doubled. And then the bodybuilder's like, yeah, but I can't gain any muscle. Okay, well, fine, just stay a broke meathead then. It's your choice. I do keto for cognition and productivity, and I'm doing pretty well. Yeah. But I'm a better entrepreneur than I ever was a bodybuilder, even though I was a pretty good bodybuilder when I was 120 kilos. I was a better bodybuilder than some of the educators out there. That's for sure. More developed, and I could still pull a vacuum at 120 kilos. Yeah. Step-by-step guide to diagnose gyno formation at home. All right, so you touch your nipples once every 2 days, not multiple times per day, every 2 days, because all the guys that fear that they have gyno, they start touching their nipples as much as Paul Burnett does on his live stream. Paul, you need to stop doing that, please. Paul. Okay, never mind. So, all right, check your nipple once every 2 days, so you don't induce some sort of inflammation. And in the meantime, when you're touching your nipples every 2 days, schedule blood work and you check your serum progesterone, your serum prolactin, your serum estrogens, and then look into your stack, right? If you're taking progestogenic 19-nors, the trembolone, nandrolone, trestolone, check drops, maybe take that out. If you're taking, something like Anabolic, it converts into methyl estradiol, and your estradiol levels are high, or you take testosterone and nandrolone without an aromatase inhibitor, take the nandrolone and the Anabolic out and put some fucking Aromasin in your protocol, and maybe block the estrogen receptors with Nolvadex or tamoxifen, right? So that's basically it. And if it's already there and it's formed and it's hard and it's lumpy, then you can shrink it with 50% with raloxifene, which comes with its own risks. The laundry list of selective estrogen receptor modulator side effects, short-term and long-term, are extensive, so do some research. 120 milligrams raloxifene every single day after about a month or even 2 weeks can shrink your gyno by half. And then when you stop it, because it's not sustainable, the gyno will come back. And then you still need to do surgery. Guys, you guys are epic. So many F's in the chat. F that. Exactly. F that. Too much politics and bodybuilding. I just train for myself. Yeah, true, man. Yeah, UFC got rid of USADA. Yeah, they're doing a new organization, and the website will follow the organization. We're testing preferences. Welcome to day. Yeah, they have some sort of new test, right? I don't know, man. I stay away from all this drug testing stuff nowadays. It just fucking pisses me off because many of the athletes don't even know how to follow through on the advice, and then they fail. And then you ask them, "Did you follow through?" And they're like, "No, I excluded, this practice to modify the cytochrome P450 enzymes, and then it's my fault." And I told them exactly how to fucking do it. So I'm just after 10 years of guiding athletes, I'm kind of done with it, man. Let's see. Abs in the Humway. All right. I've heard you speak about NAD plus IV. I thought NAD injections are done subcutaneously. No, man. IV. Dosage frequency. I've heard they burn. Congrats on hitting 100,000 subs. Thank you. Been following you since the Barbro days, and you've always been consistent. Yes. But you can't blame Derek, and you can't blame Leo also for not being consistent. All right, Derek is very busy, and unfortunately, Leo passed. So I'm still going. Yeah, Derek is just playing too many video games. So about the NAD plus injections, I like to do it intravenously, dissolved in about diluted in 500 milliliters normal saline solution, and then administer 200 milligrams every week. Yeah, I feel that really, really helps with my overall health and benefits and cognition, recovery. Basically, I feel like 6 years younger. Yeah. So, and of course, I use nicotinamide mononucleotide, which is, again, the evidence is very, very thin when it comes to NAD plus and NMN. And even though I poo-poo on SARMs for having limited evidence, the difference is that NAD plus is bioidentical. Nicotinamide mononucleotide is bioidentical, and SARMs are not. All right, so if you want to take something with limited scientific evidence, take something that's more on the bioidentical side compared to the synthetic side. That would be my recommendation. NAD plus IV, 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams once a week, and then you use maybe 500 to 750, maybe 1,000 milligrams nicotinamide mononucleotide, or a similar dose of nicotinamide riboside. Again, some people respond well to NMN, and some people respond better to NR. There's two camps, but the results are the same. Use what you like, use what you can afford, and enjoy an increased quality of life. I should get Visionic on so you can shit on nicotinamide mononucleotide, and I'll tell him that I've been taking taurine and acetylcysteine since before all the scientific evidence came to the forefront, and that I've been on the anti-aging bandwagon since I was taking clenbuterol, basically, because taurine, of course, we took for clenbuterol reasons, not for anti-aging benefits. Joel, hey, what's up, dude? Great meeting you at the Olympia. Looking forward to crossing in Thailand next year. Yeah, come over, man. Come over. Come eat at the Cheesecake Factory here. No, that's not the reason to come to Thailand, but come to Thailand anyway. I mean, a lot of Americans, you know, it's funny, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I came here, there was very little Americans. And now it's just getting flooded. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know why everybody wants to leave, but there's a huge influx of Americans into Thailand as of recent. Is that my fault? No, I don't think so. Right? You want to leave. It's not like you want to come meet me. It's you want to come leave and do something new. Yeah, but out of all the YouTubers in Thailand, who's the OG one? Mm, yes. I was here before Tony. I was here before everybody else, man. Yeah. So if I say that NAD Plus works, early adopter. Early adopter. All right, where are we before we go fucking off the rails? Here is the link for ITTP. Can you post the link? I don't see it. Just type it out. You probably can't post links here. I think you can allow it though. Let's see. ITPP band. ITPP is included in the World Anti-Doping Agency prohibited list of substances for human use. Doping, myo-inositol. Okay, so why isn't it not mentioned? Why the fuck is it not mentioned on the banned list? This is an article from Thermo Fisher. Is that the one that you mean? Screening and confirmation of ITTP. Let's see. It's failed. Anybody ever failed for ITPP? Is it really banned? Why the fuck don't they specify it then? UK Anti-Doping Agency. Retested. It's only one result. Well, maybe at one point I'll revisit this, but the amount of people that contact me for drug testing helping is minimal. So I don't really keep up to date with that stuff, honestly. It works great though. Yeah. Works great. All right, where are we? Are there any ongoing studies for SARMs and peptides? So well, I don't have it here. Do I have? So I indexed all the SARMs articles. No, I don't have it here. And apparently, there's a lot of new Austrian studies, and that BMS from like 2020 to 2023. Actually, quite a few new studies that I read. But it's all in the context of osteoporosis or cachexia in cancer patients. So, you know, you can extrapolate from that into, potential applications for bodybuilding. But, can you delete SAD A? I don't want to see this this kind of shit. Just block the guy permanently. I don't have time for this nonsense. I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna put that country to the ban. Settings. Community. Where is it? All right. There you go. Go be political somewhere else. Man, that fucker. So yeah, a lot of new ongoing studies. I mean, you just got to stay on top of it, for peptides and for SARMs as well. So some of the SARMs that are still undergoing clinical trials, a lot of the evidence is now starting to come to the forefront, So, but let's see. I mean, none of them have passed clinical application yet. So, and let's be honest, SARMs have been stuck in development hell longer than Duke Nukem Forever. Yeah, some of the SARMs were already 20 years ago, 2003, 2005, 2007, and there's like one or two studies on it, So, and people would still like to use it more than just buying good old Anavar. Let's see, where were we? Let's see. Any ways of increasing ferritin or transferrin levels and keeping iron the same? Aim is to utilize already high blood iron saturation to aiding in the production of red blood cells. I don't think you can. I mean, unless you use something like EPO to kind of help with the red blood cell production. But I don't think you can modulate ferritin or transferrin, and would that even overlap into red blood cell production? I mean, you can increase the oxygen carrying capacity of hemoglobin by taking ITPP. And of course, you can use an altitude mask or EPO to increase your red blood cell count. But these things are going to change because ferritin, serum iron levels, transferrin. I mean, they're just basically stores for iron, right? Of course, serum iron is free iron, duh. And then hemoglobin allegedly, basically, is also a store of iron until it's metabolized into bilirubin, and the iron is freed and recycled and potentially stored in ferritin. So, if you want to utilize already high blood iron saturation to aid in the production of red blood cells, I think you need EPO or an altitude mask to increase the production of red blood cells, or vitamin B9, B12. Maybe you're deficient in that, I mean, those contribute to red blood cell production also. So look into a couple options. Adrian, what's up? Currently on 600 milligrams of test. Holy shit. 750 milligrams Primo. Nice. Plus 25 milligrams or 20 milligrams Anavar per day. Estradiol was over the reference range. So I've been using 10 milligrams Aromasin every other day. Is that too much Aromasin? 10 milligrams Aromasin every other day. I'm surprised your estrogen is over the range, but how high was your estrogen, right? Are we talking about 40, 50? I think with that much testosterone and Primo in your system, I think 40, 50 picograms per milliliter is ideal, right? So, Adrian, please clarify. Kurt talked about nandrolone having cancer risk in a video. Any backing to this? I'm not aware. So let's go to PubMed together. PubMed. It's something you can do yourself. I don't have to ask your influencer friends to do it for you, but I will. Nandrolone cancer. All right. I see a lot of, evidence as a cancer prevention therapy or preventing memory carcinomas. But there's 310 results, so I might have to do some digging. Was it carcinogen? Let's see if nandrolone is a carcinogen. I don't see anything in the titles. So I don't know. Ask Kurt. Kurt is really into the scientific evidence. So just shoot him a DM on Instagram and ask him, hey, you talked about nandrolone having cancer risk. Show me the study. Right? And then read it for yourself. And then see what if that is any merit. you know. And otherwise, look into the powerlifting community who take nandrolone like candy. See if they all develop cancer. I think not. Let's see, Adrian, did you reply? 56 nanograms per liter. I think that's fine, dude. I think that's fine. I don't think you're at any risk of developing libido issues or other side effects or blood pressure increases. I mean, your testosterone is off the scale with that much. So I would say that this estrogen is totally fine. And you don't need to bring it any lower. No, don't need to bring it any lower. I would forgo the Aromasin. 600 milligrams test, 750 primo. I would expect your estrogen to be lower though. Yeah. Are we still with the good source over there in Canada? Adrian, when are you coming over? Bring the kids. Show them around. We got Cheesecake Factory here now. That's one Cheesecake Factory more than Canada has. I can get Derek over finally. Is there anything that I can add to a fast with LL37 BPC 157 glutamine to heal gastritis faster? Also, how to counter lethargy, anhedonia from growth hormone even at 1 IU. I'm going to take the growth hormone out. If it's that bad already, then or take it before bed when you know, then yeah, take it before bed so at least the lethargy is gone the next day. I mean, I take 2.4 IU's growth hormone over the day, 2 shots, and I'm not lethargic at all. So, I mean, people say that they get lethargic from 1 IU growth hormone. I'm not even sure if that's even possible, dude. Unless there's something underlying and then the growth hormone pushes you over the edge. And anhedonia, I mean, it can come from so many things. So, and again, I mean, if you're like the gut microbiome is a huge production site of neurotransmitters. So, of course, you're going to kill your intestinal tract with the L37, and then if you have gastritis, right, the BPC 157 and the glutamine, that will all certainly help. I don't have any additional recommendations. After that, you need to repopulate your gut microbiome, supplement with some neurotransmitter precursors like L-tryptophan, you know, foods high, rich in L-tryptophan and L-tyrosine and glutamine and choline, right? Choline bitartrate supplements you can look into. Watch all those entrepreneur stacks. I mean, the entrepreneur nootropic stack is not just for entrepreneurship, but it's also for mental health. But I didn't want to advertise it as such because then you have to, you know, go against the grain. And I'm so tired of seeing the comments recently after doing all those collaborations. So it's just an entrepreneur upregulation, but the information in there is very, very solid if you want to improve your mental health and energy levels after you fix your gut microbiome. So again, follow the protocol through and then, you know, look into healthy food sources, right? Healthy eating is very, very important for your mental health and your energy levels. So once it's healed, make sure you stay eating healthy. I mean, I feel super energetic all day long, every day. But I eat healthy and I eat very boring because that works the best, right? So taste aside, health is more important. So, and then maybe you don't even get lethargic or anhedonia from 1 IU growth hormone because all of your neurotransmitters are there, right? The L-tryptophan is helping with the serotonin production. The L-tyrosine is helping with the dopamine production. The choline is helping with acetylcholine production, right? So watch the Entrepreneur Deep Dive video series in whole, right? Next one will drop on Monday. That will probably change your life, dude. Yeah. Yeah. At the end of December. Mm. Let's see. Thank you so much, my guys. See you in February. Okay, awesome. See you then, buddy. Yeah. We'll go out to Beirut again. Yeah, but at this time it's your treat. Let's see. We have Cheesecake Factory in Toronto. Really? I didn't know that. Why is Derek always going to the US to eat cheesecake? Me and Derek, we have a little joke. Every time we go to Cheesecake Factory, we show the bread. Let me see if so I send them. Shit, can I show this? Yeah, I can show that. Okay. So I sent this to Derek today. Well, why is it reflecting, dude? There you go. Yeah, it's me eating the bread. And then Derek sent me a couple weeks ago. He was in the US. I guess he didn't go to Cheesecake Factory when he was at Rogan. Some shit that should never be seen. Yeah, and then Derek sent me this a while back. Yeah, this is a fucking Cheesecake Factory bread. Love that shit. Yeah. I didn't know, man. They had it in Toronto too. All right, let's go back to the drug questions. If 50 estradiol too high for TRT? I mean, no, I don't think so. I think top of the range, slightly over the reference range is totally fine, man. I mean, if your testosterone levels are over the reference range, your estrogen can be over the reference range too. Right. BBC calls is anhedonia. It's probably that and not the GH. Yeah, it could be. But it's also super rare, man. I mean, everybody that experienced anhedonia from these drugs, I think they're deficient in the neurotransmitters. Honestly, it's not the drug; it just pushes them over your heads. They were already sick. I mean, we could take our favorite hobo as an example. That guy was in a poor state of health, and he takes a little bit of lion's mane, and then he's fucked. He was already fucked. He was already fucked. You know, and he's not intelligent enough to listen to people who give him advice. So, yeah, then you stay fucked. Oh well. There's 2-hour line in Toronto for the Cheesecake Factory. That's why. Oh Jesus, yeah, that's long. Yeah, we had to wait like 20 minutes, dude, today because we had a table of 13 people. So it had to kick a lot of people out. And then the general manager recognized me. He's also part of the Vigorous crew. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. He's like, Steve, I watch all your shit. It's like, okay. And give me all the cheesecakes for free. No, I never ask for shit. I never ask for shit. I pay all the gyms I go to, and I pay all the restaurants. And if people recognize me and they want to give me some free stuff, sweet. I'm not going to say no, but I'm not asking for it. Does pharma grade 192 amino acids smell the same as generic? I mean, isn't it all 191 amino acids? You know, it's the extra amino acid that is the methionine. All right, the methionine is the extra one, 192. So, and I don't think generics make 192 anymore. I think that's largely been discontinued. What's your favorite topic to talk about in PEDs and least favorite? I like new stuff. I really like to talk about NAD plus and 5-amino-1-MQ and you know all this mitochondrial upregulation, but it's so far beyond of what people actually are interested in because they want to know about tren. Least favorite is SARMs. Yeah, and I still made a fucking video about it. So we'll drop maybe I don't know, hopefully next week. Yeah, my editor's busy working on the membership website content or membership section content. Love the content with Mark Bell. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was good to meet Mark. Yeah, train with them and you know, train at the gym and hang out and have some fun. I made some content for them extra, you know, made them extra videos. And yeah, it was good, man. It's good to meet these people. I mean, the bodybuilding community is like the people that are just staples, right? They've been here for decades. And it's all great people, man. All great people. I mean, what pisses me off sometimes are the people in the comment section. So you do a collaboration with, I don't know, Nal Niga or that person, right? Or Mark Bell or Elite FTS. And you just see people who've never seen you, never been introduced to your content. And then they just start talking shit. And I'm like, God, dude, I've worked too hard for, you know, you to bring me down in a single comment. So I don't read it, of course, but it's just surprising. Like, and I see the same thing on my channel. I do collaborations with people, and then people talk shit about the guests that I have on. So it's like the audience is possessive, and they don't want you to collaborate. They want to collaborate with you, and then you collaborate with somebody else, and like, oh, this guy's full. Don't you know that, dude? Man, I mean, just take a picture. Fucking relax. Well. What can you do? You know, people are miserable and they use social media to vent their frustrations about their own life, but directed at you. All right. Next one. Yeah, Mark Bell's a good dude. Yeah, and Seema and Andrew, I mean, all great dudes, right? All the people that I met over there at Super Training, fucking nice people. Yeah. Hey Steve, I've been contemplating letting my cats go outside and just stay in my house garden, but I'm super worried they might get injured or worse in the dangerous outside. Thoughts? Uh, well, I mean, outside cats can bring in this toxoplasmosis, right? That's mostly a condition that or a bacteria that outside cats have. So even the outside cats we adopted, we tested them for toxoplasmosis, and they don't have it yet. But I still have the medication here in case they do get it, and we'll bring them in for blood work every year, also, just like our house cats. So, and of course, we don't interact because the outside cats that we adopted, even though they're spayed and vaccinated, and we take very good care of them, they're still outside. It's the outside cats that usually bring diseases in. So that is what you have to worry about. Cats are fucking godlike creatures, so I would not be too worried that they get injured if they're in the backyard, right, where the cars can't get. But if there's a lot of cars in the neighborhood, yeah, then that is the risk that you run, that they might end up underneath the car, and that is devastating. Um, so I'm happy that our street cats are very, very close. But even the street cats that we adopted, dude, they jump in front of my motorbike sometimes. I'm like, fuck, dude, Tiger, don't fucking do that, man. I'll drive over you. Yeah. Let's see. Let's scroll down a little bit. Iron Grid, you're spamming. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bro, don't make me put you in timeout, dude. Don't push your luck. Don't make me school you, boy. All right. What's the best Gorilla Mode flavor? I would say Crush. Yeah, I like Crush. Yeah, the Nile and Mark Ball podcast. And Elite FTS was good too, man. And Chase Iron sitting there. Even though our camera guy did get a little bit tired of holding the camera for like 4 hours straight, so the footage is a little bit emotional. It's a little bit like all over the place. But the footage I took today at Cheesecake Factory is pretty emotional also. Right, I'm not a good vlogger. I have this on the tripod right here, so it's nice and stationary, but vlogging with the camera here and then thinking about, oh, is it focusing on my face or is it focusing on the background? And right, I'm not a pro. That's why most of these vloggers have a camera guy to operate that fucking thing. Yeah. All right, where are we? Mm-mm-mm. Sorry. Chatting with the crew. Oh, okay. You don't have to answer these questions. All right. I thought you were asking me, dude. So we made a bet, right? So we made a bet. And we're almost getting at the end now. I made a bet with the members that we're going to get, let's see, MK677 questions, which we didn't get, TB500 questions, which we did get, and basic TRT questions that we also get. So we're one MK677 question short, which I would expect to come, or maybe I scrolled over it. So you guys owe me $20 already. Here, side effects of TB500 and BPC157. I don't think that there's any side effects unless you use them very, very long and you have cancer lingering in the background, and then the cancer is growing faster because the angiogenesis. But I think these compounds are pretty side effect free, besides that you have to pin them locally. So you do create a little bit of scar tissue, and BPC157 can cause a little bit of post injection pain. I think they're reasonably side effect free. Yeah, they cost money. That's a side effect. Yeah, that's a side effect. Livestream bingo. Yeah, yeah. So we didn't get the MK677 question yet, but we're down 2 out of 3. uh, let's see. Which form of growth hormone spikes more IGF-1? IV of intramuscular. If IV, then do more blood tests for higher IGF-1 levels, jab IV. So the weird thing is, like I've seen on people's blood work where they use like very high dosages of growth hormone in a single shot, like 8 IUs, that the IGF-1 goes wild. And then you do the scientific evidence research, and it seems that multiple spikes of growth hormone raises serum IGF-1 levels the most, and that single high dose just doesn't do that. So experience, scientific evidence, I don't know. Like IV growth hormone, I looked into it a lot. I included it, originally in the IGF-1 or in the growth hormone ebook, because a lot of the Arab and Indian bodybuilders that I was doing coaching for were swore by it. So I'm like, okay, fine. If you guys want to do it and you swear by it, right? I'm not going to tell you no, don't do IV growth hormone. And those guys were pretty freaky big, you know. But yeah, I mean, the conventional administration is intramuscular or sub-Q. I don't think that there's any benefit of doing IV administrations. But I can't. Did I see blood work on IV? I mean, I've done IV myself, but it doesn't raise IGF-1 right away. I mean, if you take 2 IU's growth hormone IV to check the potency, it's like 80 to 100 nanograms per milliliter, you know? So that's super, super high. And it's definitely not for a beginner. Even though those, the 31 gauge needles, I mean, you barely feel when it goes in. When you take it out, there's no blood because it closes right away. So it's pretty easy to do IV administrations that way. Albeit that sometimes if you press down, you let go before you draw the needle out, then a little bit of blood comes back, and then you literally see all of your growth hormone denature. You see it turn cloudy, and you're like, oh, fuck. There goes my growth hormone pen. All right. Where are we? What are your opinions on pyrolutamide phase 3 results? I didn't research that. What is pyrolutamide? Pyrolutamide. Don't tell me that's a SARM. I was a non-steroidal anti-androgen. I was like, I didn't read over about this. I have no idea, man. I've never heard about this compound. Non-steroidal anti-androgen. Phase 2 clinical trial, androgenic alopecia. Oh, no, I barely research about that, dude. It's not within my scope of interest. I will do a hair loss deep dive eventually, but low on the priority list. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, IV injections indeed are a different game, man. Directly into the vein, Jesus Christ, is scary. I mean, I've done many IV, what is it called? Furosemide Lasix injections in my decade plus of coaching. And that works within 17 minutes. 17 minutes it works, dude. Yeah. And so I'm not unfamiliar with it, man. I mean, I do IV administrations for the NAD plus and the glutathione and the vitamin C. I don't like the feeling at all. I think it's painful. I think it's cumbersome, right? Of course, if you use, one of those butterfly, not butterfly, that's with the plastic one. Man, what is it called? The catheter one, the plastic catheter. Then it's pretty pain-free. But still, it's not a fun administration. But yeah, sometimes sometimes you have to get your hands dirty. But I don't think you have to get your hands dirty for growth hormone, dude. I would rather do growth hormone intramuscular and potentially cause some autocrine IGF-1 secretion over doing it IV and do everything systemic and then potentially grow your organs. How do I have to think? If I think about those Iranians and Indians that were taking IV growth hormone, not too bad. Like when you're like 110 kilos, 115 kilos on stage, I mean, how flat is your stomach going to be, right? Yeah, minoxidil toxicity is not only toxic to cats, too, but also to humans. I mean, so many people have issues with minoxidil, especially if they go high potency. Again, minoxidil and ketoconazole are all inhibiting various steps of what is it called? The sex hormone cascade, the neurosteroid cascade. I mean, I made that video about what neurosteroid and sex hormone inhibition. So I can't remember off the top of my head which steps minoxidil and ketoconazole inhibit, but I know that ketoconazole is a 5-alpha-reductase inhibitor and an aromatase inhibitor. Was that true? Or minoxidil was a... No, I think they inhibit multiple steps. Yeah, so I mean, hair loss is it's pretty brutal if you have to manage it. So many things you have to research, but I haven't really researched into it because, well, I obviously don't give a shit. I would rather be bald, dude, than I don't have to trim this like 3 times a week. Nicholas, what's up, dude? How's your stomach? Nicholas was also there at the Cheesecake Factory fun. Yeah. How's your stomach now? Man, we fucking slayed that place. How was Paul Burnett's? You want to join in? Nick, you want to join in the last 10 minutes? It feels empty. Let me send you the invite link. Yeah, people can see your big fat face also here. Let's see. I've got enough WhatsApp here. I'll send it to you on Instagram. Let's see, Nick. I will do the review and then we're going to close it off. There you go. Feel free to join in. Oh, I'm on my phone. All right. Never mind then. Next time. Yeah, dude, just join in. That's fine. I got my my thing here. See you in a bit. We'll talk about Cheesecake Factory. All right, guys. No more super chats. Let's see. Where's the last super chat? There we go. Should I be worried about high monocytes? Well, it could indicate that you have an infection. And if it's chronic, then I hate to say cancer, but it is correlated to chronically elevated white blood cells and monocytes. So I don't know. Do some research, and then and maybe discuss that with a doctor. You know. What did you enjoy more, coaching or competing? Well, I never competed myself, but people asked for coaching, so I was like, well, I'm good at it, so might as well help. I didn't get paid for it, but I did enjoy coaching. Yeah, coaching was fun, but I didn't enjoy coaching everybody. Right? You have your favorites, you have your people that you just have to go through to make money. So yeah, if the choice is between coaching and competing, it's coaching because I didn't compete. Yeah, and don't say you should compete to coach. If people ask for it and I get results and are people willing to pay for it, then what am I going to say? No. I mean, Chad Nichols is not saying no. He never competed either. And he, at one point in time, he was the best. Does Nick live close to you in Thailand? Not far. Yeah, maybe 5-10 minutes. Yeah, 5-10 minutes. Not too far. I mean, everybody kind of lives around the muscle factory, right? Every time I feel happiness, I remember I live in Canada. I mean, you guys are... That place is turning into a fucking police state. Jesus Christ. And I thought Australia was bad. But, well, watch the video Blueprint for Financial Freedom. Follow through with it. A lot of people are showing up to Thailand that are coming. Oh, no. I'm keen to jump on next time. I give the bathroom up to the fiance as I had her on the couch downstairs while on the podcast. All right. All right, too much information, but that's all right. We'll meet you next time. No worries, Nick. I could be stuck in Europe. Yeah. Man, Europe is also down. Last time I went to Holland, man. Jesus Christ. Well, and now the economy is bad, so it's gonna get worse before it gets better, guys. Oh, in the bedroom. Ah. All right. Okay, cool. All right, guys, let's do one more super chat, and then we're going to close it up. What dose and frequency would you suggest for HMG on cycle for making PCT easier, or as monotherapy? Bad side effects from HCG. In that case, I would do 75 IUs 3 times a week. Yeah, 75 IUs 3 times a week. So keep in mind, I think HCG, I mean, HCG can interact with the luteinizing hormone chorionic gonadotropin receptors in the brain as well. And it could be a neurotransmitter imbalance. So look into something like Semax or cerebrolysine. I think some people get relief after running a Semax for about a month through the neurogenesis. And then they can run HCG again. I'm not exactly sure what mechanism it is. I'll have to look into it because, of course, some people get bad side effects like anxiety or insomnia or just headaches from the HCG. So Semax seems to be able to resolve that, right, in some people, but the sample size of that is less than 5 people. So look into that. Not exactly sure how it works, but it might be worth looking into it. Yeah. Last one. How's the HCG fertility protocol doing? So my fertility parameters are absolutely fucking stellar, but my wife is 40 and I'm 40, so it might take some time. After being on and off cycle for years, looking for hope fertility-wise, looking to use HCG on cycle as well going forward. So from all the guys that I talked to, their fertility parameters usually come back to pretty good levels within 6 months. I mean, or maybe 9 months. Some guys take it a little bit longer than others. We had that conversation with Andrew Wingy from Man Medicine. It took him years to get his fertility parameters back, and it took a long time for Chase Aaron's fertility parameters to come back. But the large majority of the people that I talked to, their fertility parameters come back quite favorably within 6 months, let's say, on an HCG protocol. Then they can take the testosterone out. And then it kind of depends on how old you are and how healthy your wife is. Because just because your fertility parameters came back, doesn't mean you get your wife pregnant right away. Especially if you're older. So we've been trying now for 6 months. And I set a timeline for a year to, 2 years. And then after that, we might have to consider IVF, but I bodybuilded for 25 years. Even though I missed TRT, it's not the end of the world, right? My testosterone levels are still quite good. But yeah, if my testosterone levels were like shit right now, then I'd feel upset and miserable. But I'm kicking ass, chewing bubble gum, and I'm still quite strong in the gym. So at least if that's sustained, then we can proceed as forward. Yeah, but your fertility is just as important to check as her fertility, right? And that means, ultrasound in the vagina and checking your hormone levels and doing the LH and FSH and HCG tests, when the time is right, like LH to check ovulation and the FSH levels around the time of ovulation through blood work. LH you can do with a urine strip. And then HCG, when she's late, and then you test, and then hopefully HCG is up, and then she is, in the early stages of pregnancy. So, yeah. All right. What is here? Oh, before the stream closes, I got 2 new kittens, Steve. You inspired me. Okay. Look in Instagram DMs. Oh, let's have a look. Orange one is Clementine, and the gray is Simba. Where are you? Fuck yeah, dude. Shit makes me happy. Let me go into the app because picture is not loading. Too fucking cute, dude. I'm gonna show this one. This one's the greatest. Look at that. Look at how fucking cute these cats are. Why is it so blurry, man? Jesus. Focus. All right. Well, they look cute. They got too much hair for my liking. If it ain't bald, I'm not touching it. If it ain't bald, man. No, but good work on you, dude. And it's good to get two because they play together a lot, and then they don't tire you out, but they tire each other out, and then when they're ready for bed. Do yourself a favor, right? You got one of these little nests, right? This one. Put that like in your bed. Put one in your bed. Yeah, that's the best thing ever. So you go to bed, and then I go to bed at 4 o'clock, right? No, this is the last story. Yeah, then we're gonna close it off. So, I go to bed at like 4 o'clock, and then on both sides of the bed I have cats, and in the middle that's Kid. I have a picture of Kid, and this guy he purrs like a fucking retard. So I go to bed, and then I give him a little pet. I give all the cats pets when I come back, or back to bed, just to kind of positive affirmation that daddy is coming home. Where are my cat pictures? Such a bad father. Don't have any pictures of my kids. Anyway, so I come to bed, and then I pet all the cats a little bit, and then I pet the cat that is like in between me and my wife. That's why she's not pregnant yet, because we can't have sex because the bedroom is completely overtaken with cats. I mean, look how cute this guy is. Man, it's not focused at all. So this is the front one. This Kid. And his skin feels like shark skin. So you pet him, and it feels like a little bit rough. And then he starts purring like a crazy maniac, and then I can fall asleep. It's great. Okay, guys, that was the end of the live stream. Sorry for going off topic. Cancelled, yeah. What, you're a dog guy? Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. All right, guys, let's close it off. Yeah, much appreciated, Mike. What are you putting on your head? Is that minoxidil? Guys, let's I'll see you guys next week. Let's see. On Saturday the 30th, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's like the end of the year. Should we get drunk? Should we all get drunk at the end of the year on the live stream? I know it's very early in the United States, but it's midnight for me. Should we do a little bit of celebrate? Bring out the booze. Is that around time of ovulation? No, it is not. All right. All right. All right. So we might do a Vigorous Vigorous Q. Is Vigorous? Is that a word? Vigorous delivery. Booze are us. America. Fucking great. All right, end of the year, Saturday, December 30th. Whip out your liquor. I wish I could smoke a cigar here. Maybe I should move this entire setup to outside, and you guys can see my cats. All right, let's see what I can make happen. But then everything I say on camera, you can't hold against me, okay? Because once the alcohol starts flowing, I get fucking ballsy, and then I might have to set it private. So you show up, so you can watch. And then if I go fucking ham, and I sit here half drunk, smoking cigars outside on the front porch, surrounded by Tiger and Ninja, our outside street cats, then yeah, don't hold it against me, okay? Vigorous booze party. Okay, let's make it happen. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay, guys, for now we're out of time. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you next weekend, and then yeah, let's bring on some more MK677 questions. Right? Okay, you guys owe me $20. Peace out. See you later.